Yo. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. We had some technical difficulties. I went through the whole entire intro, and we wasn't even live, and Mike ain't even tell me, man. But y'all know, man, this video was brought to you by Manscaped. Big Manscaped in the building. Lawnmower 3.0s, 4.0s, 5.0s, lip balms, body sprays, deodorants, everything you need to keep the days man groomed. Use code Brunson, save 20% off, get the free shipping, and of course I fought for the free shipping for y'all. What happened, Mike? We ain't do Go Talk in 5 weeks, man. What happened, man?
I mean, I don't know, man. We slipping. We slipping.
We definitely slipping, bro.
But we back.
We definitely slipping. Hold on, what did he say? You already know, man. Eagles realist, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being in the building, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to unpack, man. The Eagles offseason kind of been a little eventful, but at the same time, I feel like, non-eventful. You know what I mean? But, some moves have been made. Some decisions have been made. A lot of chatter about, who's, going to be the quarterback or what are we going to do with the quarterback position. So we just going to dive right into that right now. Do you feel that Jalen Hurts' job is secure going into this season as of today, where we are right now?
Oh, yeah. After all this stuff that has happened, the rumors about the Watson, the Wilson, they try to throw the Jimmy G's and even the guy from the Raiders, Derek Carr in it. And, one thing I got to credit Hurts for is that man is not scared of anything. I mean, Baker Mayfield heard the Watson news for about 2 weeks and he crumbled. Matt Ryan heard the Watson news for about 2 weeks and he wanted to get out of there, right? Jalen Hurts has been hearing the news since the last playoff game. Actually, since the middle of the season. So credit him for just staying strong. After Laurie came out and really said Hurts is the guy, he explained that a franchise guy is not always going to be a franchise guy their first year starting. He talked about Josh Allen like a lot of us did. We also mentioned Lamar Jackson. I just think that you heard it from Nick. You heard it from Howie. You heard it from Laurie. If you're not going to accept it by now, I just don't understand. Now, I'm not saying his leash is long because his draft status and the fact that, we got to figure out what we're going to do with him sooner rather than later, especially because you don't want, if the quarterback's yours for the future, you don't want him going into his last year. You don't want to put the Dak Prescott treatment on a guy that you believe in. So I think this year is big, but by all means, it's Hurts season for 2022 as well.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. Howie Roseman is starting to scare me as we get closer to the draft. But I really feel like, that, they're telling the truth. They all can't be on, this same page of just blatantly lying to us. You know what I mean? I think it's some truth to what they're saying, being as though they're all saying it. And, he definitely got a lot to prove, man. He got a lot to prove. You know what I mean? We heard he's been working on his mechanics. I think sometime this week. He was in Southern California. I forget the name of the trainer he was working with, but they say he's working on the details. You know what I mean? Listen, it's all 20% physical, man. We know these guys can run, jump, dive, slide, tackle, but you got to be able to read. You know what I mean? I said this in my last video. What did Tampa Bay say? They said he can't read. They didn't say he couldn't throw. They didn't say he wasn't physical enough. They said he can't read. So hopefully he get his read on this offseason and we get a different set of results, man. We made a lot of moves, man, since the last time you and I did Go Talk, man. We got Hassan Reddick. We got Kaiser White, man. Y'all know I'm bad with names, but I hope I got that one right. You know what I mean? And I personally feel like that those two moves alone, we've taken Alex Singleton out of the picture. I think you really just changed that linebacking group. I think I think it's going to be a totally different linebacking group. I think, did I say it? We got a competent linebacking group, man, with those two guys right there, man. What do you think about the moves that have been made in its totality and specifically with the linebacking group, since it seems like that's what they're honing on?
Yeah, I think they really upgraded. If you look at Kaiser White, I went to a couple Chargers channels just to try to scoop him out a little bit, and they were mad that they didn't bring him back. They understand that signing a Khalil Mack or trading for a Khalil Mack and signing a J.C. Jackson will keep their money tight on the defensive side. And they got some young guys that they think that might be able to take his spot, but they wanted him back. 144 tackles, 2 interceptions, just the guy we need. Now, He was a former safety. He could drop back. He can really play the tight ends and the running backs out the backfield. And I like our group of guys, right? Not saying I won't touch linebacker in the draft, but TJ Edwards had a pretty solid season. And when he did look bad, it wasn't him necessarily. It was the guy to the left and the guy to the right making him look bad. That group is tight fitted, and you need to have your brothers back. And I don't think Singleton or Jannard Avery at time could do it. Now, TJ Edwards, Kaiser White, and Hassan Reddick, I think it's a great group. I think Hassan Reddick is a linebacker, right? We look at him as rushing the passer, but he's going to play that Jannard Avery role. If you look at Avery, most of the time he was the one that got the green light to go get the quarterback, right? And Jannard Avery, just Jannard Avery, right? He looked good. Like what I'm trying to say is Jannard Avery, what we try to use Jannard Avery for was what I want someone to be used for, but he just wasn't talented enough to execute it. If you use Hassan Reddick in that way, he might just have the best year of his career, and that's coming off of 23 and a half sacks in 2 years. So I wouldn't totally not look at the linebacker position. We got to remember Davion Taylor has upside, just can't stay healthy. And I look to get Davion Taylor on the channel next week. He hasn't been replying back, but we got something scheduled for next week. And I do think the linebacker group is a lot better than it was, the Nate Garys and the Alex Singletons and the Eric Wilsons.
I agree, man. Yo, the wide receiver group, though, man. The wide receiver group, in my opinion, man, I'm gonna just give my thoughts on it. It's horrible. The wide receiver group is horrible, in my opinion, man. I really take pride and, kind of looking at wide receivers coming out of college. I don't know why I'm infatuated with the position. Maybe because we've been needing one for so long. But these guys are bottom of the barrel trash. And I feel like that they didn't even, try to, listen, you had options. If you were able to pay Hassan Reddick that much money, you could have got almost anybody you wanted. You know what I mean? You had options. You had some money somewhere to make a splash. You decided to do it at the linebacker position. I would have liked to see them be a little more aggressive with wide receivers. I'm not a Devontae Parker fan, but he went within the division for a 5th-round pick. Like, I think he's worth a 4th. You know what I mean?
I would have did it.
You know what I mean? I would have gave up a 4th for Devontae Parker. I mean, you need to do something. And now I think we're just kind of telling our hand about what we're going to do in the draft. I think we're definitely going to draft another wide receiver in the 1st round of this year's draft. I mean, listen, you struck gold with Smitty. I feel like that was a hit. Now you might want to look to continue that and go on with another hit. But, man, Reagor got to go. Reagor got to go, man.
His bags ain't packed already? I thought he was already packed. Nah, I agree with you 100%. Look, we missed back-to-back years on wide receiver with Whiteside and Reagor, so it's only fair. The football gods got to bless us with some wide receivers, and this draft is stacked. I mean, even if you went to the 2nd round and grabbed a guy, you can get your, who's that guy that you're big, Sky Moore?
Sky Moore.
You can get somebody who's still decent. There's still, there's that guy from where Carson Wentz went to college. Somebody in the chat will let me know.
He's Christian Watson.
Yeah. This is not a 2nd round pick or nothing, but I'm thinking if you could steal this guy later in the draft, I think he's a big body receiver that can translate to the NFL. There's just a lot of talent. You got the guy from Georgia, Pickens, who the injury scares. Jameson Williams coming back, looking pretty good out there working. Just a lot of wide receivers. Your boy Chris Olave, Traylon Burks. I think there's a lot of guys out there I think you have to add. Let me ask you this real quick, right? Because a lot of Eagle fans believe, right? We're having so much fun with the mock drafts, drafting 3 guys. I know we almost every content creator talked about dropping one of the picks back next year to just in case Hurts ain't the guy, right? Well, we got $15.8 million in cap space, right? That is 7th in the NFL. Why are we not spending it, right? If right now, if we sign all our draft picks, all of them, all 1st rounds and all the rest of them, you're talking about $8 to $9 million it's going to cost to sign these guys. $8 to $9 million, right? Now, if you take one of the 1st draft picks out and move it to next year, that's going to cheapen the deal. Are we keeping this money because maybe Howie is going to pull the trigger for all 3 1st rounds and not hedge one to next year? I'm not saying he will, but I'm just saying it's funny that we do got a decent amount of money. We are trying to reshape this roster. We're early in the retool, rebuild, whatever, ahead of schedule with the playoff appearance. But, I mean, Howie's never been a guy that sits on his hands, and he got the 3-year extension. I mean, it's interesting to me that, we're being this, we're falling back this way. I'm just saying, I'm going to open my brain up to the idea of us actually coming out with 3 first-round picks. I'm not saying it's the right or wrong thing to do, but Howie has a multitude of avenues to go. I mean, it's like I don't think he can get this wrong. I hope he don't.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely, I think he can get it wrong. I think he can get it wrong, Mike. That's what scares me about Howie Roseman. Because listen, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you already got it wrong. That's the number one way to get it wrong. The number 2 way you can get it wrong is if you trade 2 of your first round picks just to jump and reach for a guy. Stay where you at. It's way too much talent. Maximize on talent. What would you rather have? 8 9s or 110? You see what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this though. Say one of these guys like a Sauce Gardner or a Kyle Hamilton or just one of the guys that you never even really thought about the Eagles drafting at 15. Say they fall to 10 or 11. And then you moving up from 15 to 11 gets you that guy that we really didn't consider. And then you get like a second round pick that is going to be like, say it's decently early, like, 30, 39, or not 39, in the 40s. And with this draft being as talented as it is, getting a higher second round pick, knowing that you got that one guy that you didn't even believe you were going to get and still having a high second round pick, which, late first, high second, kind of all in the same ballpark. You wouldn't consider doing that if that presented itself for one of them guys like a Kyle Hamilton or a Sauce Gardner.
That might be the only 2 guys that you could reasonably, do that for. You know what I'm saying? But I still wouldn't do it, though. I can understand why somebody would, but I absolutely still wouldn't do it. Because if Sauce Gardner fell down that low, then that means Calvin Booth fell. That means a lot of people fell. Yeah. If Sauce Gardner make it down that far, that means a lot of people took quarterbacks way too early. You're in a good situation if Sauce that close to you. I'm telling you, the 3 first-round picks, it don't come around, man, often. You could do a lot with your first-round picks.
I hear you.
So yeah. If it's me, I'm not going to do it, man. I think you need to put talent, especially in the first round with the 3 first-round picks on the roster this upcoming season. Think about it. Kelsey on a 1-year deal. Fox is on a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Slay not getting no younger. We just had to bring back Anthony Harris. He wasn't trash, but come on. You know what I mean? He ain't young either. You know what I mean? McLeod, duct tape on his knees. You're really not in good shape. You got to use these picks. Yeah. You got to use these picks. You lucky you don't need a running back. You should be lucky you don't need that. You know what I mean? I think you got to use them, man.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, with the money we have and not making no moves, I'm thinking maybe there's a chance we use all 3. Again, I and you both talked about multiple times on Goat Talk the last long time ago that it came out. But we talked about, hedging that pick and both of our mock drafts. When we did the mock draft together on my channel, I mean, we hedged them. We got the Detroit Lions pick. We moved one back and we did what we did. It's funny though, and I was gonna send this to you, right? Jim Nagy, who's always around the college pro days and stuff. That Bailey Zapp dude. Remember we drafted that Bailey Zapp quarterback in like the 5th or 6th round, right?
Yeah.
And I said Gates said he was Jim Nagy was talking about him. His pro day, he completed like 55 out of 56 passes. It was bad weather. It was raining and windy, and he was throwing some bombs. And they were saying this like this could, they weren't comparing him to Tom Brady, but he's going to be a late round pick, and he might be able to make some noise. Jim Nagy was saying. I was like, dang, me and LB just picked him because we picked him. I
obviously like this name. I'm like, all right.
It sounds tough, right?
Right. The name sound like he might be all right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I was gonna send that to you. But yeah, I think that there are going to be secondary pieces, and we do got to patch up this defense. As you said, I ain't opposed to extending Darius Slay for 2 to 3 years. I think, certain players still have gas in the tank, and gas ain't cheap. So why refill it unless you're on E? And I don't think Slay is on E. So I'm looking to definitely patch it up. We can every level of the defense can use an upgrade. And so, go ahead and do it. You're right in the sense of 15, 16, and then that our second round pick, like all the picks in the top 100, if done right, well, then guess what? You can really fix this defense.
I agree wholeheartedly. What you got, like 5 picks in the top 83?
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You got the tools. You got the tools to really make some stuff happen, man. Which is why I am terrified with Howie Roseman, man. Anytime you got a GM that can, I think he's even trying to justify not picking Justin Jefferson. I think he even tried to justify it. Anytime you can get a guy that will take Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson in a draft, you understand how bad my heart. He broke my heart when he did that. Anytime you get a guy that can do that. He's the most dangerous guy in the building. He's the most dangerous guy in the building. Yeah. Howie Roseman will do anything, bro. You better be lucky that Landon Dickerson worked out. I was mad about that.
Yeah.
But he be hitting sometime, though. So it was like.
He's been better. If we're going off the last draft, it was pretty good. Milton Williams, she always be putting it out there like that. She always be trying to play me. She comes in all my Sixers streams talking about, Mike was a Ben Simmons guy, she just be staying killing me with it. But anyways, when you look at Howie Roseman's, willingness to go out on a limb, like he did with Landon Dickerson, we were all saying, what? The dude couldn't stay healthy in college. How are you going to stay healthy in a grown man's sport? But he did.
Facts.
We took the chance on Sidney Jones. We took the chance on Landon Dickerson. One panned out, one didn't. I'm still watching JOK and Asante Samuels. And oh, by the way, they're having great young careers too, but Landon Dickerson is a staple of this offensive line. That left side is strong
a
side.
Stud.
Remember the Titans.
Definitely a stud. Right. He's definitely a stud. So how we did hit on that one, you know what I mean? And I like how they're being patient with Jalen Hurts, though. You know what I mean? It seems like they're really behind him, man. He got some belief in that building, and that's all that matters, man. But as far as getting playmakers around Jalen Hurts, man, you should have been able to do something by now. You know what I mean? One guy that I'm still looking at, though, I'm looking at the Honey Badger, and I'm like, bro, that addition alone will transform this defense into probably like a top 10 defense. Because you got him, Reddick, Slay, you got a lot of pieces who know the game. And if they can get a cohesive game plan together and stuff, I mean, the sky's the limit, man. I don't know what we're saving this money for, but Honey Badger young still, I think, right?
He's 29. But again, when you look at some people's career, I think he's on the better side of 29 and 30. Again, Slay, he's in his 30s, but he's just playing with so much energy. Made the Pro Bowl again. I think you got to look at the player, the position. That matters when you talk about age. And again, if you're going to spend 2 or 3 picks on the defensive side, well, these young guys are the future of the Eagles. So you could still spend for the here and the now. You can spend for the here and the now because molding these young guys is a part of the game. Some of the greatest players say, I have this mindset because of this guy or this guy. So having Fletch on a 1-year deal, Kelsey, you're going to get Honey Badger for a couple more years, extending the Slay, that's going to brighten all the young guys' futures, and I believe wholeheartedly in that. Looking at Honey Badger, I don't see why we can't. If you gave him a 2 or 3 year deal or 2-year deal, right? He probably wants around 10 million. That's, a little, we were aggressive at Marcus Williams. He's younger, but he was going to, cost 10 to 13 million. If you give Honey Badger that deal, you don't have to put it's not like if you give him 10 million a year for 3 years, $30 million deal. That don't mean the cap hit is 10 million. You can make it where this cap hit is like 3 to 5 million this year. And then maybe next year it's going to be a little bit bigger, 15, 14, but it depends on how much you believe he's going to play. When you put the bigger part of a contract on the end, you just better be sure that player doesn't play his last year worse than his first year. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have to see and say he's going to be impactful year 1, year 2 he's going to be the same or better, and year 3, like when you kick the can down the road per se, that is not a problem unless the player is declining. So then your first year he was cheap, he gave you production. Second year he's a little bit more expensive, he's not that good. And the third year he's the most expensive and he's declined. That's when it doesn't work. But if you believe in whatever years you give a player the contract that he's going to perform up to par the whole time, then it doesn't matter. And the Honey Badger's just a baller. He's been that since LSU.
Yeah, I'm big on it because I feel like that's what the defense is missing. The defense just was soft as soon as Malcolm Jenkins left. You know what I mean? We've always had that captain back there. Everybody on our defense needs that captain, that head honcho. And Malcolm Jenkins was that. Malcolm Jenkins took an average defense and they won the Super Bowl because Malcolm Jenkins was the guy. Now, imagine if you put Super Bowl champion Honey Badger, just played in KC, under all of the bright lights. And now, listen, for some strange reason, I don't even think Slay is a captain. Maybe Slay just ain't got that personality. Maybe he just handle his business on the field. He worry about rallying the troops. He gonna rally himself. You know what I mean? But the Honey Badger is a captain. The Honey Badger is the leader of a defense. You know what I mean? He can get Fletcher and all of them dudes hyped up and riled up. I think that's what we missing, man. So I'm really big on getting a superstar at the safety position, man. Somebody that's going, play with some edge, man, because we ain't got that right now back there. You know what I mean? But the Honey Badger is definitely one of them ones, man. I'm hoping and I'm praying that we can, get the trigger pulled on that one, man. What's your overall grade, though, for the offseason so far as in terms of where we at? And that's taking in, probably reports that you heard or guys that we've been taking out to dinner, just everything, the signees and the direction, how the coach is making you feel. Man, what's your overall grade?
Overall, I'm going to have to say right now, C+, just because the 3 first-round picks are not picked yet, right? That's going to change it. It could be really worse or it could be better. Derek Barnett, Anthony Harris, Greg Ward, Boston Scott, the guys we signed back, it is what it is. Again, I'm starting to understand, I'm not starting. I'm forcing myself to understand what they, I guess, want to do with Derek Barnett. But here's my thing. If he's playing more than Milton Williams, if he's playing more, or a heavy amount more, but Milton Williams got to be involved. Whoever we draft got to be involved. Brandon Graham come back, got to play more than him. He got to be a rotation piece. The contract is, they got a lot of voidable years on it and everything. But I say C+ because after Son Reddick, Kaiser White made it a little bit better. I really do think that he is, low key underrated. He was a fringe Pro Bowl player last year. If you look at how he played with the 2 interceptions, 144 tackles, just the amount of plays he made. I forgot the stat. It's something about stopping the first down or something. I don't know that stat. But he was high in there. I think a C+. I think a C+ with a chance to go higher so far. We were safe. The Zach Pascal thing really doesn't, I think he's a scrapper. He's going to replace JJ Arcega-Whiteside. And I am with Philly 500 though on this. We look at the Eagles wide receivers like this. Devontae Smith, number 1, Quez, number 2, Zach Pascal, number 3, Greg Ward gets in there, and then Jalen Reagor. But I think Howie Roseman, at least early in the season, is looking at it like Devontae, Jalen Reagor, and then Pascal and Quez are going to fight for who's the 3rd and 4th guy, whoever wins, best man win, whatever it is. But I think they're going to force the Reagor issue again because Howie don't want to be wrong.
I'm so mad about the wide receiver position, man. I can't get over the wide receiver position, man. I mean, I think Pascal is an upgrade because I think Jalen Hurts I think Jalen Reagor is just that bad.
Yeah.
Pascal has had back-to-back 600-yard seasons. I don't think Reagor is capable of having a 600-yard season at all.
That's
you know
sad,
what I mean?
Sad.
He averaged 17 yards a game last year, Mike.
That's
17
bad.
yards a game. It's guys who do that in one catch. It's guys who average that per catch.
Devontae averages 14 yards per catch.
Right. This dude is out here. Come on. It's a laughing, crying shame that he's on the team. I got to give us a D+. I got to give us a D+, man. I do, man. I got to go low. I was going to go lower than whatever you did because I know you want to go F him. I got to give him a D+, man. I'm going to tell you why.
So if they didn't sign Derek Barnett, then it would have been a C+?
It would have been a C+. It would have been a C+. Honestly, right. if you didn't sign Derek Barnett, you probably would have been creeping towards a B for real. That just, I mean, you did great with Hassan Reddick and Kaiser White. Really good. They did really good with restructuring Fletcher Cox. That was a really good move.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You did some really, really good things. You brought back Boston Scott, who if somebody wanted to tell me today that Boston Scott was the best running back on a roster, I wouldn't have a valid argument as to tell you why not. You know what I'm saying? Miles Sanders didn't even score last year.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know what I mean? Miles Sanders didn't even score last year. Boston Scott, when he was running that ball, he gave us a different change of pace. Listen, you know what I mean? You did a lot of good stuff, but then you decided to bring back a guy who was only good for killing drives. Then you paid him. I don't understand. After he just made $10 million last year, and he just killed drives on a $10 million salary. There's no way you can wrap your mind around that. I know you've been trying to figure out why they did it. That is just pure stupidity.
$5.5 million, though. I mean,
For 2 years?
No, well, here's the thing. I think the contract is really like it's up to us if we want him for the second year. So it's really like, all after you get all the legal terms out of the way, and if you want to like just dumb down the contract, it's like a $5.5 million for 1 year. Like the whole 13 million guaranteed, 14 million or 13 million for 2 years, 13 of it guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. How we had it with so many voidable year how many has it with so many voidable years that it's really a 1 year, $5.5 million. And if you're thinking about a 26-year-old for $5.5 million with the chance to get better, this is me trying to excuse it. But as we all know, more flags than sacks. He got paid. He got 2 years for 2 sacks. Milton Williams had as many sacks as him and played a third of what he played. And Derek Barnett costed me money because I was hot taking it in the offseason, and I said Barnett's going to have 6 sacks, which is not that bad. Like, prior to this big lead in the league in penalty season, I thought that this would have been a great year with Hargrave, Fletch, BG. Again, this was before the season. I didn't know BG was going to go down. I thought that Derek Barnett, would have had the most one-on-ones and the ability to do it. So I made a bet, and I lost. He got 2 sacks.
You just don't make this move, honestly. Jadeveon Clowney is a free agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got 3 first-round picks. 3 first-round picks. It's nothing but edge rushers.
He better not start.
Draft.
Yeah. If Brandon Graham's back and we draft the edge rusher, if he is out there the first play of 2022 season, well, then I'm gonna be really upset. If he's out,
the edge rusher that we draft?
Yeah, no, I'm saying no. Derek Barnett. I'm saying if we draft or when draft the edge rusher, it got to be Brandon Graham on one side and actually Josh Sweat on one side, the youngster on the other side. And I'm not saying this because Brandon Graham is bad. I'm saying he's older and coming off a big injury. He needs to be in the Chris Long form now. He needs to come in, cut his snaps down. He'll give you the highest amount of energy when he's in the game, but instead of playing 70% of the snaps, now he's going to play 40% of the snaps, still be effective. But I want Sweat and the newcomer, the future of the defensive end position, to go hard. Barnett.
Unless the newcomer ready. If the newcomer got to outperform BG. Listen, you want that big dog.
If he's number
spot.
15, if you're picking him at 15, he better perform.
Right, I feel you. If you want that big dog spot, you gotta outperform BG in camp. That's gonna be hard to do, man. BG had a lot of rest. You know what I mean? He had a lot of rest. I know he nursing injury too, but BG, man, I'm running with BG and Sweat. I'm running with BG and Sweat, and I'm gonna work the new guy in. But It is about time. You're right, though. It's about time for BG to start slowing it down, so I can see it going your way as well. Simply because what BG got like he over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
He could coast out. Having a guy like BG as a rotational piece, you dominant for real.
That's what I'm saying. And that's going to extend his career. Like, say BG only has 1 or 2 more years. If he falls back and still is productive in his role, that can extend your career another year or 2. So, it's going to be sad when BG goes.
Yeah.
Got a visitor.
Okay, I'm coming.
She's like, dinner's here.
Right. Already down there eating. Like, she just trying to come here because we recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, BG is a piece we didn't have last year. And it affected us not having Brandon Graham because we were second to last in sacks last year. So I'm going to say it all season. Second to last in sacks is pathetic. It's pathetic, Mike.
It's
with
bad.
Fletcher Cox on the team, right? Fletcher Cox making $14 million a year. You know what I mean? I know Brandon Graham was hurt, but this is all the reason why you shouldn't even bring Derek Barnett back. Why are you bringing him back? Why are you bringing Come on. At times, it was just Hargrave getting pressure. You know what I mean? The rest of them dudes.
And you could say that some of the people were affected by the new scheme because you saw as Jonathan Gannon adjusted, other players started playing better then. But getting a penalty does not mean you can't say, well, I got these penalties because I don't like the scheme. Nah, that's just your decision, your discipline. And that's the one thing about Nick Sirianni, when he straight up said that Derek Barnett got high football IQ, I know it was one of them times because look, we talk on the camera. So sometimes I know I say something, and then while I'm talking the whole next part, I'm thinking in my head, why did I just say that? Like, why did I say that? He knew that he made a mistake talking about high football IQ. I was just like, come on.
They were trying to justify bringing him back.
Yeah, but still, say that you believe in the potential. You say that you know that he's going to work to get better. Say that he's trying to be better from last year. Don't say high football IQ, leading the league in penalties. You know what I mean?
He led the league in penalties?
For defensive ends, for sure. He had 8. That's every other game.
Garbage, bro. And you see what I'm saying, bro? This shit is an F plus.
Dang, we're going down. Let me stop talking about Derek Barnett.
No. I'm gonna say a D plus. But you could change it all. You know what I mean, in this draft for real. How you feel about Gannon, man? Nobody not talking about Gannon. Gannon been getting off light this offseason. You know what I mean? Because we are worried about draft, pro days and all of that. How you feel about Gannon, man? Gannon is still ass to me too. You know what I mean? Gannon still got a lot to prove to me. Gannon got more to prove to me than Jalen Hurts, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I was definitely frustrated about Jonathan Gannon. And, we kind of got off his back because the defense looked better at the end of the season. But again, we talked about it, right? Them last 6 games, for better or for worse, were against, bad quarterbacks. You had the Daniel Jones, the backup to the Giants. You had whoever's on Washington, whatever their names are. So, we benefited from playing bad teams. Now, we know the 80% completion percentage, all that stuff. Like, at the end of the day, one stat that he kept pretty good, and again, you can say it was, dictated by who we played at the end and us changing. He don't allow people to score points. He'll give up yards. He'll make a quarterback look like Joe Montana. But for some reason, we're not giving up points. And ultimately, it's who scores more. How do you win a game of football or any sports? You got to score more. So I'll credit him there. I'll give him some of the rookie mistakes. But yes, out of all the people we're talking about, as much as we want to say, oh, what is Nick Sirianni going to do year 2? Jalen Hurts, this, that, and the third. Jonathan Gannon is at the top of my list. He got to be better. He gets Hassan Reddick, right? If this man be dropping Hassan Reddick back in coverage like he was with Derek Barnett and Fletcher Cox, if I see all this, well, then I'm just giving up week 1. This is over. Hassan Reddick, watch the tape in Carolina. How he was used, use him that way. And you know why he was so versatile in Carolina? Because who is the Carolina Panthers coach? Matt Rule. Where did he used to coach? Temple. Who did he coach? Hassan Reddick. The college coach who coached him in the pros and use him the same way he does, because he kind of knows what he's talking about in that play. Yeah. So I think we're going to see a lot. I'm nervous, but if this is even more important, if we do use 2 or 3 picks and they're both on the defensive side and we get studs that we really feel good about, Jonathan Gannon got no excuse. 0.
You don't have no excuse. And I feel like what they're doing, Mike, is they're picking up guys tailored towards, what they need to make Gannon successful. Hassan Reddick is a Gannon pickup. So is Kaiser White. When you think about Hassan Reddick and you think about his skill set, what makes Hassan Reddick an elite player in this game is that he has a superstar quality. He gets sacks. You know what I mean? He's dominant at getting to the quarterback. If we try to change what he's dominant at, we are a bonehead of an organization. If we drop him into coverage and don't make him fly at the quarterback damn near every time he's on the field, we just don't understand life. We don't understand life. And if that happened, Mike, you're right. I'm done with him too. Because come on, bro. That's like telling Superman he can't fly. No, you can't fly during this fight. Bro, let him do what he's good at. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let him do what he's good at, man. But, we got a lot of holes, man, and Gannon has a lot of holes on defense, to be fair. So, I'm trying to give him a clean slate. You know what I mean? I see we're going to make some changes. We got a lot of, capital that we keep talking about. So they should do something for Gannon, and Gannon should look a lot better. Because you remember, Gannon almost got a job off of that horrible performance as a head coach somewhere, which is beyond me. You know what I mean?
The NFL is not always about the NFL is a tight-knit circle too, right? Like you saw when Dallas first hired Mike McCarthy. I forgot. Somebody in the chat let us know. The defensive coordinator that came to the Cowboys the same year that Mike McCarthy was there, he got fired at the end of the year. The dude has been trash for a minute. It's just like, I know him. He knows me. I'm going to get my boy a job, right? But, Gannon, he got something to prove this year. I'm not saying he will, but I can't watch another team just nickel and dime us down the field. death by 1,000 cuts. Like, you know, we cried a lot about the dang 80-yard bomb for a touchdown. Well, you know, I get over that quicker than first down, first down, first down, first down, first down. You know what I mean? It's just disgusting.
No, yeah, I feel you, man. It's just Gannon was so frustrating with. It's just so much, man. That, you know, I can't even get it out, man. Like the plays are replaying in my head, but Jonathan Gannon, man, just the lack of aggressiveness at times, man. It was really mind blowing to me, man. And just the praise that he gave these other quarterbacks, like you got to show out against elite competition, man. You can't just be out here giving up 80% completion percentage just because the quarterback got a high selling jersey. It's like he just laid to let it happen. So I need to see a lot from him, man. I need to see a lot from him for me to even have trust moving forward with Jonathan Gannon. I'm not expecting the defense to be good. He's going to have to show me. Yeah. That's how I'm going to look at Jonathan Gannon in the case with him, man. You know, the offensive line, man, you know, they get the captain back. Kelsey is back. You know what I'm saying? We didn't touch on that yet. And I think Kelsey is a major piece for this offensive line simply because Kelsey got to be some type of teacher or something. He got to be a teacher. I feel like the knowledge that Kelsey has, he's good at spreading the knowledge. I know we talk a lot about Eric Stoutland, but Kelsey and Lane being there as well got to be a big help for these young guys. And if it's the last year for Jason Kelsey, that's also a position in this draft that we need to be looking towards, you know, rectifying. This is why I was so against.
What if Tyler Linderbaum falls? What if, now that he's talking about falling? What if this man's there at 15 and we make that pick? I know you've been
I'm gonna be highly disgusted. I'm gonna be highly disgusted because you don't waste a 15th pick on a guy who's going to sit. You already brought back Kelsey. Mm-hmm. You might as well get a dude in the 5th round and groom him. You know what I mean? You already brought Kelsey. Get a dude in the 5th round, let him learn from Kelsey, and then throw him into the fire. He might not even be thrown into the fire because we kind of thought with the how am I forgetting big boy name? The guy we drafted in the 2nd round last year.
Landon
Dickerson. You know, we thought that was the replacement for Kelsey because he could play all 5 positions. Turns out he's just extremely dominant where he is, and I think they're going to leave him right there. Right. You know what I mean? So get you a younger guy, you know what I mean, in the later rounds, and let him sit behind Kelsey.
We're also forgetting about Seumalo, too. He's coming back, and he could play center.
Facts. But, you know, you can't recreate Kelsey. I think Lindenbaum is like a Kelsey reincarnation.
That's what they're saying.
Nobody thought Kelsey was going to be good. Everybody is hoping and projecting Linderbaum to be good. You know what I mean? And I don't see it. I don't see no Kelsey. I don't see what y'all see. So I don't want him. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Sit behind our guy for a year? That's a waste of a pick. Shit, we need a 15th round pick, a 15th pick in the draft in the 1st round need to be playing and contributing from day one.
Well, what if they put him at right guard for this year because Brandon Brooks retired? He didn't play the whole year pretty much. We pretty much used not Matt Pryor. We use Jack Driscoll and who's the other guy? The chat
that we use at guard.
Yeah. Who played right guard a lot? Herbig.
Okay, yeah.
So you know, Brandon Brooks retired. He didn't play last year anyway. So Herbig and Driscoll rotated in and out depending on who was healthy at right guard. So what if they did? Well, if they drafted Linderbaum and put him at right guard until Kelsey retires. Listen, I don't want it either. I'm just trying to
exposed.
You think so?
Yeah, he'll get exposed. He already undersized center, right?
I don't really know much about him. Sometimes like I feel like if I learn him, then like I try to say if I don't know about him, maybe the Eagles won't draft him. I
heard he was a little on the lighter side. So moving him to right guard, he's going to be matched up with a lot of D tackles. You know what I mean? And a lot of edges who got speed and power at the highest level that you can have it at. They're going to expose him. They're going to Peter roll him. You better not put him out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like Seumalo coming back is big, and a lot of people look at Seumalo like he's not that good. Let me just say this about Seumalo. The reason he looked to be not that good is because his career, this is who he played around. He looked to the left, he had Hall of Fame JP. He looked to the right, he had Hall of Fame Jason Kelsey. He looked over there, he had Pro Bowl All-Pro Brandon Brooks. He looked over there, he had Lane Johnson. So when you think of Seumalo, he was the worst offensive lineman because everybody to the left and right were A pluses. But if I had to grade Seumalo as an Eagle, he's a solid B plus. He just looked as looked at as the weakest link because he had Hall of Famers next to him, but he's still, to me, a B+. He's a good offensive lineman, and both Seumalo and Kelsey were taken late, and that's that boy Stout.
Who do we lose off the offensive line after the Super Bowl year? We lost somebody.
I know Vitae came in.
Oh, okay. We lost Big V. Yeah, we lost Big V in one of those. We lost Big V. That's what I'm thinking about. But
no.
Big V. It wasn't after the Super Bowl. I think it was a year after that.
Oh, Stefanowski?
Yeah, but we lost Wiz and we lost Big V at some point. Yeah. Those guys went on to get good deals because they played with them great offensive lines.
Correct. And none of them were starters. They just came in and they played good along them and they got paid somewhere else.
Right. I don't even think either one of them in the league.
I don't even know. I know Big V. Wait, didn't Big V go to the Lions? Well, they're willing to pay anybody.
Right. I don't even think them dudes in the league, man. So yeah, man, we definitely got the strongest offensive line in the division, I think. And I think we got one of the strongest offensive lines in the league. It's time to start using the offensive line early. I think that Sirianni understands that running the ball is key. Running the ball is key to what we got to do. So, he's the guy that I think is going to make the tremendous jump for our organization, and that's Nick Sirianni. If Nick Sirianni makes the jump, I think everybody follows suit. I think Jalen Hurts, follows suit. I think Jalen Hurts is going to make a jump of his own and a statement of his own. But I think Nick Sirianni is really going to show us that he's a great head coach this upcoming season. So I'm all in on Coach, man.
Real quick, the chat said Big V went to the Browns. That's my fault then. They pay anybody.
Yeah, he definitely went to the Browns. Let me get to this super chat real quick. Love the show. We need a Fab 5 special episode. Go Talk, Philly Shakedown, and Philly all in one. Let's go, Birds. Set it up, man. Ring it up.
Go tell them. Listen, the same way you letting us know, letting us know, let them know. And my guys talk to their guys. We talk to, we see what we can do.
Definitely can ring it up. That'll be lit.
It would
be lit. But yeah, we coming up on 45 minutes, man. 42 minutes. You got anything, Mike?
Nope.
I know you was thinking about running them streets tonight.
Yeah, man. LB was like, let's do it at 8:00. I'm like, if we do it at 7, I get a little bit more of a see what's going on. I'm already pre-gaming it with the, if you didn't know, now you know. You all know, for the people who watch me know I'm a Crown Royal drinker. And they got Crown Royal mixed drinks now. You know what I mean? Whiskey and cola. You know what I mean? They got
That's
a couple
crazy.
of
I ain't never even seen that, bro.
So,
never seen that. But yeah, man, thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all know the vibes. The next GOAT Talk is definitely gonna be on Mike's channel. You know what I mean? I don't know. We might hold it back. We might let Mike get the. You should get the draft one. You should get the draft GOAT Talk.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's gonna be
wild.
Draft
GOAT Talk, because that's just gonna go up, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna have the next GOAT Talk before the draft for sure on Philly Mike channel, man. And we're gonna definitely be keeping you guys informed, and we're gonna talk about it, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all weekend, man.